Hello, everyone. So, today we are going to, as I told you in the description, improve on the features which we are planning to add. Okay, let me see if the audio is clear. Um, I have a few, I have only two people on the stream. Is the audio clear? Can you at least comment that so that I can start? Audio is clear. Okay. What does it say? What about if I have a lot of module and I don't want to run the test from the test just now? Okay, again, I think you need to be a little more clear because I really can't understand. Run the test from the test just now. Just imagine you have user module in which you do user CRUD. I don't know. Yeah, I think if you can explain it a bit more clearly, I will definitely try to help you. You can find me on Discord. The community is very good there. I'm there, plus there are other people who will definitely help you with whatever problems you have. So yeah, definitely reach out. All right, so we have quite a few things again to um, capture. So let's try to get started. Okay, where is my code editor? Now, the first thing which we would like to do is write our test. It will start failing, and then we will write our code to pass it. So, user registration test, what we want to do is test that a verification code, right, is getting generated whenever a user is registering to the application. And in the meantime, I'll want this function to be a private function, ideally. Now, the next test. The test is it adds a token for verification. Okay. Now, what all things do we need to do? Obviously, post data equals this. We get the post data and then get our response. It's a post call. So I could have actually copied a lot of these things and just pasted it here. Okay. And I don't need to assert anything, but I do need to get the response back. Okay, this is something which is required because what happens is I'm going to get some information from the response. So data equals, let's just say JSON decode. How was it? Response get content and like this dd $data. Let me run this test. Oops, my mistake. PHP storm shouldn't have closed. I think the problem is I have, where is it? Okay, let it start. In the meantime, puf, it's taking some time. Then what happened? Why is it taking so much time? Okay, so I'm getting this user, right? Now what I want to basically do is, when this data is passed, right, I would like to um, okay, that is interesting. I am not getting the expires at, which is strange, because if I remember inside my service, or rather in the registration controller, let me open it up, user registration controller, I had this as null. Okay, yeah, this is null, and hence it will be a problem. Fair enough. So anyways, so we are getting that data, and what we will do then is we can use one more thing available to assert, which is assert database has, and in that we do token. So user id will be what? Data structure is user and then id, right? So user id, like this. And I would also like to check that the expires at is going to be something. Now, how do we configure the expires at? Let's just say this is a variable which is kind of controlled by the env. So I will go over here, equals 30. I'll add this to the example file as well, just so that this is clear. And then inside app.php, inside the configuration, what we can do is go down, 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 have expires at in minute, should be env this, and default value is 30. So if by mistake it doesn't get that, it will use this value. Okay, and hence what I can do is just do now add minutes minu minutes, right? Config app expires at in minutes. What have we done? We are sending the user registration data. This is going to register a user, and it will return the response. From the response, we got the array by doing a JSON decode, right? And then we are asserting that this user ID with an expires at is available in the database. So now let's see. Okay. It will obviously throw certain kinds of errors. For example, it can't find a token, which is obvious. So let's just do PHP artisan make model MFC, which is model factory and controller token. In the meantime, okay. So my friend, I think you should definitely join Discord, and I'll definitely try to help you right there. Right now, let's go with what we are trying to achieve in this video. Okay. Yeah. Is the model ready? It's still creating the migration. What the hell is it doing? So I have the models? At least I have the model. So let's add that at least. So I'll have guarded as empty and nothing much in there. However, is the migration ready? It's not. I wonder what happened to my machine. I mean, that day it was very slow on my laptop. Okay, the file is created. The console kind of got stuck, I think. If I do Control C, factory got created, model got created. Okay, I don't know. That's Windows. It tends to, you know, do strange things with you. Okay, so we have a migration. In migration, what all things do we need? We definitely need a UUID token field. We need the user ID, and we need the expires at. So quickly, UUID We'll name it token. So token has a token that's quite unique for an ID, user ID, and dollar table timestamp expires at. Okay, so these are the only three fields which we are interested in. And let's set up the factory then. Inside the factory, what we are trying to do is obviously we will create a token, and that token will be string UUID. Okay, this is the helper function with the string class which is available for us to generate a UUID. The next thing is user underscore ID. We will do user factory, and we want an unverified user. So unverified date. Okay. How do I know user factory? If you go to the user factory, we have user factory with unverified state. Okay, that's why we are using that. Okay, sorry, it's not a semicolon, colon, comma, and then expires at, right? Expires at can be again the same thing. Um, okay, I can simply no, I should use this. Ideally, that will mean my configuration is completely dynamic, and even the factories are getting updated based on that. So it will create a expires at which is at 30 minutes. So that's better. All right. So the factory is created. The database is there. I'll kind of migrate it also. PHP artisan migrate. Okay. Now we need to write the test. So let's run the test again, and we see no such table token. Okay. Did I make a mistake over here? Let's see. Yes, tokens, obviously. So tokens is now available, and it says that it can't find any token. So obviously, previously my error was that it couldn't find the table because I haven't created it, but I named it wrong. But it was a coincidence that we were trying to do the same thing. But obviously now it says that it can't find it in the database, which means we'll have to add the code so that it can find it in the database. Fair enough. So what we will do is we'll create a service first. Class token service. Okay. Move this piece, and then inside our token service there is only one method required, which is going to be create token. It expects a user because I need the user ID, and it will return a token. Return token create like so. UUID will be string UUID. User ID is user ID. Expires at is what? Now I can copy some things from here. Okay. And with this in place, I need to call this function inside user registration controller. I'll add a constructor. What was the shortcut for the insert? Oops, that's a little weird. What? I don't know. Insert. Really, I am not able to get that. So what we will do is write it manually. It's constructor of this class, right? Yeah, construct. And what I'll have to also do is this the service and make a private variable as well, right? So what we can do is token service, and initialize these properties. I make it a private variable, and like this. So once the user is created, what I can do is pass that user to this token service method. So this token service user. We don't need the token right now, so we are not taking it in a variable, although the service is returning it in case we need to do that. Okay, so yeah, now let's try and run the code again, rather the test again, and see. This there's some error. User registration line 90. User registration test line 90 is here. Data user. Okay, which is correct because the registration controller needs to now. No, this is correct. So we should have the user. Is it breaking somewhere? Laravel.log. Let's clean the log and see what's going on. Find index user. No column UUID. Okay, I made a mistake. It's clear. So this is token, and hence the insert was failing. Okay. So we have a success, which means now on user registration, we are generating a token. Okay? That's what we basically wanted to do. There will be a code to send the email, which I will, handle later on. But what we wanted to do was get the how do you say token in place, and then let's look at the part where we are actually verifying the token. Okay, so for verification of token, let's kind of do one thing, create a new test, php artisan make test. We will name it user verification test. Okay. Let's close everything. User verification test. Quickly set this up. Use refresh database. And the first test that we are trying to write is it verifies a user when token is correct. So what do we want to do here? Let's see. We want to create a token. First of all, we need the token for verification. So token factory create. This will also create a user for us, because if you remember the token factory, right? Token factory, we are creating a user here, which is unverified user. So we will have a token which also relates to a user. And then what ideally we would like to do is also travel ahead in time a bit. This what is that method called? Travel, I think. Travel 5 and then minutes. Okay, because we have a 30-minute cushion, right? And then this JSON, let's say we will have a get route. The route name will be user.verify, which we don't have. And we will have to pass a token to that route, which will be $token, and we will assert that we are getting a 200 response. Assert status 200. Now, obviously, this is going to fail, saying that no such route exists. Let's run this test. I'll take the entire class. And yes, route is not defined. So let's get started with defining the routes first. Get call user slash verify slash. We could have done token, but it will then bind to the ID, but we want the token. So this is how it will be. The token verification or the token controller will only do one thing. So token controller, okay, it didn't create the controller. I think that's where it got stuck. Okay, no problem. I will comment this code, generate PHP artisan make controller, token controller. I could have done verification, but no, that's fine. I think this will also do. So we have a token controller over here. Controller class, simplify, user verify. Okay. So at least our error should change, should give something new. Previously it was saying route verify not defined. So let's see now what does it say. It says invalid route action. Fair enough. We have not defined the invoke method. So how will it work? Invoke. We are expecting a token. So let's just add that as well. Not okay. It's token. Okay, now what? What's the next thing which it says? Oh, it says it's passing. That's interesting. So that is happening because we are just asserting that it's a status code 200 now. Because we are not doing anything, it just returned a 200 status code, but we want to do a lot more than that. So let's see what is the next thing which we want to try. We want to first try and return the the token. No, not the token, but rather the user name and the JWT, because if the user verifies, then we should allow him to basically log in. Okay, so apart from the status, what we should also assert is that um how do we do this? It has a JWT. Okay, so assert JSON, a closer function, assertable JSON, and we will do JSON. First of all, etc is here, and it should say has what? We should look at the login controller. It has token, right? So we should follow the exact same thing. Token user underscore name, so that the login and the verify are seamlessly able to send the user to the dashboard after logging in. So now this should fail. It does. And it says invalid JSON was returned from the route. Fair enough. So let's put our logic in here. Right. The logic is, first of all, we need to check the time, whether it has expired or not. So I can do something like if dollar token is less than now, okay, then return response token expired 400. So, but if we don't have an expired token, then what we are doing is we are getting the user object by doing user find token user ID, and then JWT will be equal to $user. Let me see what is the function. It's create access token. No, create access token or create token. Get the access token currently associated with the user. No, so we need to do this. This is the function which we get with Sanctum. Let me see, login controller. What is the name of the token? Web app. Ideally, this should be inside our environment as well, so that there is no discrepancy between the tokens. Uh, I should rename that, but for now, let's just stick to this. Okay, token should be JWT, and now we have a passing test, and this is generally testing the entire logic. Okay, but we haven't kind of test done the test of entire thing. Okay, it's 10:26. It's almost half an hour, so we are quite behind in our timing. But okay, so we need to we are verifying that that when the token is correct, a user is verified, right? But that's with the assumption that the status code is 200 and the JSON has token and username. But I would also like to verify that the email verified field was changed. So let's just say we do token um, it it uh, no, it verifies the user, and then it updates the email verified at field. Okay, so these two things are added. Then this JSON, it's a get request. I'll copy this. I don't want to type it again and again. Okay, this is done. So I'm sending this, and then I can do an database assertion, or maybe not even database assertion, but this assert not null, rather let's see. So we are saying user dot find. Okay, I should have actually also deleted the token. So let me do that. Token delete first. I'll do this. And what I am also trying to do here is test that the user is email verified. So what I will do is token user ID. And let me see. I'll need to just test the data which is coming to write the test. Sometimes, yes, I do get confused about this. So email verified is at as null. Okay. I need to update that because we are saying that after coming to this thing, right, we are verifying the user. So user email verified at equals and then user save, right? And we also delete the token. So this is quite a few things happening on the controller, but yes, we will refactor it. Let's run our code, and right now it's not null, so we should test what that. Oops. Oh, undo this, dollar this, assert not null, this email verified at. This should pass now, and it does. Okay, let me quickly see. Okay, nothing in here. Fine. So what else? Let me see. We have verified that it verifies a user when token is correct. This is fine. The happy path, it updates the user's thing. I think the one more item which we need to test is it throws error when token is expired. Okay, the expired. The first condition which we have in here, right? This is not getting covered, so we need to do that. So we have a token, we have this, but instead of 30, we do 50, and then we assert status code as 400. Let's see. Is this correct? It is. If I, for some reason, do 10, I'll have a failure, right? So what we have written is correct. And that pretty much covers the verification. Now we have done quite a few things and it really does work. So what I have done is I've created a Postman request for us to visually see what is happening. Okay. You can see I was trying to test the code also. So let's register a user first. We are hitting the user/register. What all fields do we need? User registration controller, email, password, confirm name. Okay, so we have email, password, confirm name. I do send. Okay, my application is not running, so it won't work, obviously. Hit send. User ID 12. That's interesting. User ID again is 12. Oh, yes, because I had seeded the database again. Refresh and seed. So now let me go to the database. Now we have a token field where this is the token. Now the code which we have written based on that, what is going to happen? It's obviously an unauthenticated API. So get URL API user verify, and this. Okay, let me first write a wrong token. So it will do a 404, 400, right? Okay, I think headers, that is going to be content, accept content type, accept application JSON, and then it gives what? A 404 with an exception. Okay, we should have ideally handled it rather than getting the model doing it, but that's fine. We can make that change. If I now send the token, it is returning me the token with access token, okay, plain token, right? And I am also getting the username. Okay, I think I've made one mistake over here. Login controller, we should do this property as well. Verification, user registration, token controller, like so. Okay. But anyways, now the token is gone because we had a delete code. So the table is empty. Let's try to register one more user and just confirm that everything is correct now. So 2, send. We can see this is 13. And obviously in here, we have this token. And now if I send that token over here, we only get the token and username Amitav. Okay. So yeah, I think that's about it. With the next thing, which is sending an email, I should be able to update the Heroku app so that the APIs are able to allow a user registration with verification, and then you can actually play around with the application, which is hosted on Vercel. Okay, so apart from, I think, top 10 wonder, there is no more questions. Yeah, I would definitely again suggest you that you join the Discord server and ask your questions, whatever clarifications you need. I will try to help you as much as possible. The CRUD tests, as I told you, I think if you are trying to make an API call, something is wrong. You should ideally do something like this, right, where we are making these JSON assertions. Okay, if you look at my past videos, you will find that I have covered quite a few things in there. For example, I have covered how you can have a create video API, which will take the user input and create videos. Then there is the listing pages and everything. So you should try to watch that. You will get quite a lot of idea about how CRUD testing can be done. Okay. Anyways, so thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.